I was trying to make you a great warrior. You succeeded.
And from that point forward, throughout the rest of time, whenever men rode forth to battle for good cause or for evil, they did so under the watchful eye of the man who had defeated a god. They were driven forward by Kratos, the mortal who had become the new god of war.
Never in my life would I have expected an Easter egg to become canon in this story of a game. The news about Shovel Knight's inclusion to the God of War series came out a month ago, and you may be asking yourself, why haven't I made a video about it? And it's mainly for two reasons. I'm still dealing with the fact that Kratos uttered the sentence, "I shall call you the ghost of shovels." And also this little inclusion to the story has definitely destroyed one of my theories, and possibly another one. So let's give a moment of silence to the eagle theory. Press R3 to pay your respects. So no, the eagle did not take Kratos to Scandinavia. Corey Balrog has confirmed that Kratos got a backpack, a literal backpack, and walked to Scandinavia. So this bit of new information gets rid of the idea that Kratos sailed off in a boat, and my explanation which had the eagle in Helheim carry him there. Now this brings us to our first problem. How are we to explain the blood trail at the end of the credits, since the eagle did not drag him, and Kratos lacked the desire to go on a sea voyage? What happened? Did someone revive him? Did Tyr go to Olympus to get him, and also get a cool Greek souvenir for his vault? The answer is
no.
The way I see the blood trail being included in the narrative is to show Kratos' realization of his immortality. Let me explain. After defeating all the gods, Kratos felt unfulfilled. He lacked a reason to keep on living. So he decided to kill himself. This happened without him realizing his immortality, so he came back to life. Frustrated, he crawled to the edge of the cliff as to jump off like in the first game. But that also did not work, and he came back to life. This could have happened a lot of times until he finally realized that he couldn't die. And this realization marks the first event that would wear Kratos down to this lovable brute. The other event would be visiting the grave of his mother and brother. Now the only evidence of this happening is Shovel Knight. If we are to take the fight's inclusion to the canon seriously, we have to go all in. And an explanation is needed as to how Kratos has the gravedigger's shovel since it was last seen at the end of Ghost of Sparta. So let's assume that Kratos went on a trip to visit the grave of his family for some reason. When he got there, he obviously pressed R3 to pay his respects. Seeing his dead family would be the second event that would convince him to change his ways, since after all he caused the death of both of them. I find it hilarious how Kratos could have gone home with his brother after saving him, but instead decided to fight a god alongside a guy who had been imprisoned for 40 years, who knew very little combat and was beaten by Thanatos all of his life. I can almost hear Deimos asking, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And Kratos replying, "Yeah, it's gonna be great. We'll spend some quality time together." But all joking aside, seeing his dead family would cause some serious self-reflection in regards to his life choices. So now he knows that he can't die, and also that it would be insanity to live all his life like an exposed nerve. So he takes a chill pill and sets out to explore the ancient world. We should say that a trip on foot from Greece to Scandinavia would take quite a long time. Some people have suggested the idea that Kratos spent hundreds of years walking, and this would include visiting other mythologies along the way. One of those other mythologies would be the encounter with the protagonist of Shovel Knight. As soon as Kratos starts speaking, it becomes obvious that it won't be easy to theorize much about it, since Yacht Club games were going more for a funny dialogue than a lore-accurate one. Take a look at the first line. "Athena, is this yet another test? Am I to face this foolish peasant without even a proper weapon?" The sentence is just to communicate to the player that this is in fact Kratos, because it's a very stereotypical sentence that people expect him to yell. But it doesn't make sense for Kratos to be saying it after God of War 3, since he's no longer serving the gods, nor is he being tested by them. Now the last dialogue, Kratos says, "My fate lies elsewhere," which is obviously pointing to the future setting of the series, Scandinavia. There's also the fact that the snowy mountain points to the future setting. This is no speculation, Corey has confirmed it. So now you see my problem. How am I to determine what's lore and what's not? It's not just the dialogue. For example, in the stage transition, Kratos uses a magical power from God of War 1. So what are we to do? How will we get to the truth? Well, just to play it safe, let's assume that all of it is lore. So let's begin. The first sentence points to Kratos still having some sort of relationship with Athena. Maybe Athena is still tormenting Kratos for all the things he did to Olympus. After all, there isn't much for her to do other than be bitter towards Kratos. Now we have to address the weapons. While during the fight, Kratos uses the Blades of Exiles and the Nemean Cestus. Let me address the Nemean Cestus first in a manner that's smart and coherent. Having the Nemean Cestus there make no sense whatsoever. I really cannot find any reason for him to be carrying them after God of War 3. For one thing, they're the heaviest weapons in all the series. It wouldn't make sense for him to take them on a long trip. Secondly, they were broken beyond repair, and Kratos fixing something does not align with his character. The only one who could fix him would be Hephaestus, but Kratos took care of him long before the ending. And lastly, the weapons serve no purpose to the story. They were in God of War 3 because they look cool, and I'm guessing that was Yacht Club Games' approach. So if I had to pick an aspect of the fight that was not canon, it would be the inclusion to the Nemean Cestus. On the other hand, the Blades of Exiles give us more room to theorize, but it will require me to demolish another one of my theories. In my video, I theorized that Kratos took a trip back to Olympus to retrieve the Blades of Chaos because they were too dangerous to be left alone. But after I uploaded the video, I read a theory that was interesting. The theory states that all the blades Kratos wields are in fact the Blades of Chaos transformed. First, they were obviously the Blades of Chaos. Then Athena transformed them to the Blades of Athena. Although the transformation is not seen by the player, it's an educated guess because we see Athena transforming the Blades of Athena to the Blades of Exile. So, in the same way she could transform the Blades of Exile back to its original form, the Blades of Chaos. But we still need a reason for her turning them back. What's the motive behind it? I think the answer can be found on Kratos' new visions. We see the new Kratos having visions of Athena in the new game, and in it she's taunting him, attempting to put a stop to Kratos' new morality standards. Right now I'm gonna insert my own small theory. You ready? Let's do this. These are not visions, but these are memories. Memories that took place after God of War 3, when Kratos decided to put away his old life and start a new one. Athena did not like it very much and started saying things like,
"But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster."
But of course her taunts did not last forever. She eventually got tired and played her last card against Kratos, transforming the Blades of Exile back to the Blades of Chaos as a reminder of the failure that was killing his family. So to me this makes sense since the visions of Athena started when Kratos decided to get the blades back, showing a correlation between the blades and Athena. Okay, so let's do a recap of the theory. First, Kratos was feeling down and decided to kill himself. He noticed he wasn't dying, so he crawled to the edge of the cliff with a hole in his stomach still healing, leaving a bloody trail on the ground. He jumped, attempting to drown himself, but that too failed. He realized that this was a curse of immortality given to him by someone. This event caused him to question some of his life choices. He then went on to visit his mother and brother's grave, and this pushed him over the edge and caused him to say, "I, Kratos of Acropolis of Sparta, vow to become a better man." And he set out to explore the ancient world in search of a better life. Athena did not like it very much, since she was still bitter towards Kratos for messing up her plans to rule the world. So she started taunting Kratos, saying things like,
"You will always be a monster."
But Kratos resisted. One day, Kratos met a mysterious Blue Knight who wanted to fight the Ghost of Sparta. The Blue Knight defeated Kratos, and instead of using his rage against him, he let him go. He even gave him the shovel that belonged to the Gravedigger, proving that he was no longer that man that killed anything with a heartbeat. Athena, seeing that Kratos had changed, was enraged, and did the worst thing she could think of, transforming the Blades of Exile back to the Blades of Chaos as a reminder of Kratos' worst memory, the death of his first family. After that, Kratos and Athena parted ways. Kratos finally reached Scandinavia, where he was mesmerized by the beauty that was Fae. And thus, the story continues. I know, I made some assumptions along the way, but I think they were necessary to make the video more interesting. Only time will tell if I was right. But we do know one fact. Kratos walked from Olympus to Scandinavia. You may flood the comment sections with your own theories as to what happened along the way. If you like my content, I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications whenever I upload. If you're still not sure about this commitment, you might want to check out some more of my videos. And that's it for today. Goodbye.
Get in the boat, boy.